The high-end real estate sector operates on a razor-thin margin between absolute prestige and devastating ruin, attracting individuals who often mistake immense personal wealth for genuine omnipotence. From my glass-walled executive suite overlooking the misty cliffs of Silverwood Heights, a boutique eco-resort nestled along the Pacific Northwest, I routinely monitor the ebb and flow of affluent guests who view hospitality workers as mere stage props for their lavish lifestyles. Having painstakingly built this sanctuary from absolute rock bottom following a catastrophic financial betrayal by my ex-fiancé, Julian Vance, I protected every square foot of my establishment with meticulous operational rules and strict legal boundaries. My chief operations director, Marcus, entered my office on a brisk Tuesday morning carrying an exceptionally thick dossier that signaled an imminent administrative nightmare. With an exhausted sigh, he dropped the paperwork onto my walnut desk and revealed that a corporate entity had requested an immediate, full buyout of the Grand Horizon Pavilion for an ultra-exclusive summer gala. Upon opening the file, I discovered that the parent corporation, Apex Holdings, was merely a shell entity funding a lavish engagement celebration for none other than Julian Vance and his trendy, 23-year-old lifestyle influencer bride, Chloe Montgomery. The sudden revelation of Julian's name sent a surge of adrenaline through my veins, stirring memories of how he had quietly emptied our joint firm's accounts 6 years prior before leaving me buried in millions of dollars in corporate liabilities. Sitting in silence while sipping my black coffee, I realized that Julian had no idea I was the sole founder and owner of Silverwood Heights, having taken my mother's maiden surname, Vance Sterling, to erase every remaining tie to our ruined past. Rather than rejecting the lucrative booking request and sending them toward a competing resort, I instructed Marcus to instantly approve the contract and slip in our custom-tailored, non-negotiable guest conduct addendum. When the couple arrived 2 weeks later for their initial venue inspection, I slipped into a standard dark manager's uniform, complete with a basic silver name badge that read simply Valerie. Logistics support. Chloe strutted through the hand-carved mahogany archways wearing heavy sunglasses indoors, aggressively belittling the banqueting staff while demanding that our imported Italian silk wall hangings be entirely replaced to suit her social media aesthetic. Julian stood off to the side wrapped in a tailored designer suit, completely oblivious to my presence as his arrogant eyes glided right past me, treating me like an invisible fixture of the room while glued to his business phone. During their walkthrough, Chloe intentionally knocked a heavy sterling silver dessert spoon onto the hardwood floor, demanding that our senior banquet captain be fired on the spot for daring to present a traditional 4-piece setting. I stepped forward with a composed, artificial smile to explain our venue's strict protocol, only to have Chloe coldly inform me that my sole job was to shut up and move furniture according to her whim. As they left the premises, leaving behind a trail of outrageous demands, I immediately contacted my corporate attorney, legal counsel David, to prepare an ironclad notice of contract termination for non-disclosure and third-party harassment. Part 2, The Reckoning at Silverwood Heights. On the evening of the gala, the Grand Horizon Pavilion shone brilliantly under the ambient glow of low-hanging crystal chandeliers and thousands of imported white orchids. Dressed in an understated charcoal jumpsuit, I discreetly paced around the outer perimeter of the room, keeping a watchful eye on the escalating tension between Julian and his demanding bride. Julian looked visibly strained beneath the suffocating pressure, downing glass after glass of expensive scotch while Chloe paraded through the hall like an exacting inspector reviewing low-paid subordinates. The breaking point arrived halfway through the dinner service when our veteran housekeeper, Elena, accidentally bumped into Chloe's expansive train while clearing a tray of crystal flutes. Chloe erupted into an unhinged tirade, loudly screaming insults at Elena before violently slapping the silver tray out of the frail woman's hands, causing crystal glass to shatter loudly across the polished floor. Before Julian could step in to smooth over the public scene, I walked directly into the center of the spotlight, stepping firmly between Chloe and my trembling staff member. "That is quite enough," I declared, my voice echoing clearly across the dead-silent ballroom as the live band faltered and stopped playing altogether. Chloe sneered in total disbelief, demanding to know how a low-level floor manager dared to address a high-paying client in such an assertive tone. Standing tall before the crowd, I unpinned my basic staff badge, tossed it onto a nearby table, and announced to every guest present that I was Valerie Sterling, the owner and founder of Silverwood Heights. Julian's face drained of all color as recognition finally crashed over him, his jaw dropping in absolute terror as he realized who was standing before him, I pulled the pre-printed, legally certified breach of contract notice directly from my inner jacket pocket and presented it to the trembling groom. I informed the entire room that under Clause 18 of our venue agreement, any physical or verbal abuse toward hotel staff results in the immediate cancellation of the event without refund. Effective right now. Security personnel swiftly entered the ballroom from every service exit, blocking the bartenders and politely directing the baffled, high-profile guests toward the waiting valet lines. Chloe began screaming in hysterics about her ruined reputation, while Julian desperately pleaded with me in private, begging me to remember our shared history and save his corporate image. I simply smiled, reminded him that his non-refundable $180,000 payment would be immediately reallocated toward a permanent employee health and bonus fund, and watched as security escorted them off my property into the pouring rain.